He is. All right, here we go. Jerome Whitehead wearing goggles. We've got 2 goggle centers here tonight. Maybe that's the new look. And out of bounds it goes. So the Lakers will inbound with only 3 seconds having expired on the shot clock. And they will trigger in Nixon. Bang loose. Lakers one of the better rebounding teams in the league. In fact, number 2. So they get it back and get another try. They average about 46 boards a game. They pummeled the San Diego team just the other night in Los Angeles. So there's a little revenge in the mind of these young Clippers who have had all kinds of problems. Swen Nader, Brian Taylor, Charlie Chris all out. Armand Hill got bumped. Jamal Wilkes with a rebound. Magic Johnson among the leaders in a lot of NBA categories again this week. What a month he's had. Little lean in. Kept live. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They can play free and loose. They've got themselves a pretty good lead in that Pacific Division, although Seattle breathing heavy, and yet they know that they really match up much more strongly than this San Diego team. They've got much more going. Kareem tried to block out. Whitehead comes away with it. L.A. with a 3-game lead over Seattle. Seattle idle tonight, so they can pick up another half game with a win. And we have a whistle, and let's see what the call is.
Well, that foul is on Kurt Rambis, trying to deny position to Tom Chambers. They had a good live position set up for Chambers. Rambis trying to fight around in front. He gets called for the foul.
San Diego, 16 wins, 57 losses, 11 in a row. One more ties a club record that they established in '71. Not the kind of statistic you want to talk about if you're San Diego. Tom Chambers, good move. He had 30 last night in Phoenix. And he had 12 rebounds to go with it. And Chambers, kind of an up-and-down rookie season from Utah. #1 draft choice, the 8th man picked in the draft last year. Rambis traveled, no call. Rambis got the travel that time and no call. 4-2 L.A. He went for a walk in the park.
He'd love to have that extra step every time. That time they were able to take it over the top.
Last time I had a step like that was when I was in the 8th grade. Went to a dance, got all the steps I wanted. 4-2, Brogan. Look for the trailer on the break to the hoop and knocked away and out of bounds. It'll come back into San Diego.
Serious note for the Los Angeles Lakers. They were beaten at home by the Dallas Mavericks. Certainly a team that the San Diego Clippers are capable of playing with on any given night. So the Lakers have to come out here with their mind on their business.
Almost did not get it in within the required 5 seconds. That's Whitehead, much improved. Tries to pile in after his own miss shot. Rambis with a rebound. Rambis replacing Mitch Kupchak, who's still out for L.A., and that's Norman Nixon. Boy, I like that little player. Norm Nixon, very unheralded, and the people in the league know just how good he is. 6'2", 190, 4-year man from Duquesne, averaged 17.6 last year. Not that many points this year, but boy, what a player he is. He's averaging 17.4. Very close. Couldn't be much closer than that. Whitehead calling for it, gets it. Turns in, weak side help coming over Magic. Hill, good pass off. Brogan deflected Kareem, puts it up and misses it. 6-2 L.A. Brogan fighting. He and Wilkes diving, coming our way, and out of bounds it goes. And the ball will go back to Los Angeles. Good hustle by Jim Brogan, the walk-on.
Well, Jimmy Brogan surprised by the fact that he got that layup opportunity inside. Then he missed it, so he tried to hustle his way out of it. Unfortunately, he comes away with nothing.
He's 6'6", the youngster from West Virginia Wesleyan, a free agent. Kareem on the double team, looks back to the weak side. And Wilkes was guarded underneath, and the ball banged out of bounds by the San Diego Clippers. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has played on 2 world champions. Jamal Wilkes also, incidentally, and there he is. The big man, the king. He's done everything a man could possibly do in his career. 6-time MVP. Rambis knocks it away. Rambis playing with a pretty badly sprained ankle, taped very heavily, and he comes up, deflects Magic. He gets credit for the steal, and Nixon. And they'll go inside to Wilkes. In the paint, back to the big guy. Off the iron. L.A. by 6. Armand Hill came from Seattle after he left Atlanta. Chambers, good offensive rebound, and the big kid put it in. Tom Chambers. Chambers averaging 6.5 boards a game. Nixon. Rambis, strong player. Strong board man, Kurt Rambis. This man has surprised, Steve. Now, there's a fellow that was drafted originally by the New York Knicks, ended up playing in Greece last year, and he made this club a 3rd-round draft choice.
Well, I think the thing that surprised is the fact that he was given an opportunity to play and has come to the front and been a consistent part of the Los Angeles Lakers winning from about a third of the way in the season on. So Kurt Rambis has shown that given the opportunity, he's going to play. And when you spoke about that sprained ankle, there's no way, unless you cut it off, that he's going to come out of that starting lineup.
He got his big break when Kupchak went down. It hurt the Lakers, but he's filled in nicely to show you the strength of their team. They've not lost that much ground. In fact, they're a chance right now to go to 3.5 ahead of Seattle in the Pacific if they win this one tonight. 10-4 LA. They double up on Chambers. They rotate the defense. Brogan. Whitehead over the back of Kareem. Whitehead 6'10". Brogan 6'6", a jumping jack. LA, a team that is 24-13 on the road. And they are 42-19 since Pat Riley took over in November when the Lakers were 7-4. Wilkes got the shot away, fouled by Brooks. That baby would have counted had it gone. It did not go, so going to the line now will be Jamal Wilkes.
Well, Michael Brooks gets a little touch foul here, but he committed himself early, and that's one of the things that you have to be concerned whenever you're guarding Jamal Wilkes. He has that funny-looking shot, and sometimes he cocks it, but he doesn't let it go, and that time he caught Brooks off balance.
He's 75% at the line, Steve. And Wilkes, career-wise, 77%. Very consistent player, and another one of the pieces to the Laker puzzle. Good, sometimes unsung, but he says, hey, I'm taken care of. I make a good paycheck, and I fit in with a winning team. That's all I care about. I don't need to see my name in headlines every day. Wilkes, that kind of an individual. 12-6 LA. Armand Hill, Michael Brooks. He's one of 3 #1 picks that they've gotten in the last 2 years. They traded for one Al Wood on the bench. Brogan double screen. Rambis. Give it to Magic. He goes with that chin-high dribble, and at 6'9", that's a high bounce, folks. A real high bounce. That's way over my head. Down to Magic against Brogan, deflects. Nixon with 13 on the shot clock. Plenty of time. Penetrates. Rambis. And over the back and OB. So they'll give it to San Diego, and they'll bring it down.
Well, we have seen the Los Angeles Lakers not really involved in the basketball game, but they have an advantage because San Diego has not been able to really come down and get the ball to their scoring primary scorers. That's Brooks and Chambers and possibly Whitehead inside.
Moments ago, you saw a man in a suit. That's not a model for GQ. That was Riley, Pat Riley, the coach of the Lakers, and Brogan on the thrust in the middle of the lane, fouled. And he'll go to the line. Nixon on the foul.
Well, Jimmy Brogan's going to get some numbers on the board if he continues to try to go inside like this. Even though he doesn't have the ball out in front of him, he gets the foul as he puts it behind his head. It's a good chance that shot could have been blocked.
He played in the Continental League last year, Steve. So many youngsters getting a chance because of injuries and whatnot, just performing well at that level. Played there an average a little over 9 a game. And he was in Golden State's camp in 1980. 24 years old now. Jim Brogan. West Virginia Wesleyan. I played golf with his former college coach who lives out here this summer. He said, you watch this kid. He's going to try out. He tried out and made the team. And he's been a very bright spot for him. Here's a traveling violation on Jamal Wilkes. And Wilkes says thank you to his teammate Kurt Rambis on the pass and heads up the floor on the turnover. 12-7. Turnovers have been a big problem for San Diego. Michael Brooks. Whitehead bumps and bangs on Kareem, sets the pick down on Magic, give it over to Brogan in the middle of the lane. Pretty good move for the youngster. Very active inside, and here comes Nixon. Kareem lays back and paces himself. There's Rambis, and they open the waters for him that time. Brogan slipped off to cover the wingman, and nobody filled in on Rambis, who came right down the chute. 14-7 LA.
Well, I think you have to realize then if you're the guard and you see a man like Rambis with the ball, you want to make him pick it up so you run at him, make him try to make a pass, which he's not comfortable doing.
Brooks foul inside. We're going to have a time.
Opportunities, and if you can get that many quick opportunities, certainly you're going to get big numbers on the floor and win pretty convincingly.
Chambers to Armand Hill. They flash Brooks inside right. They go the other way. That's Brogan trying to set up Chambers. They triangle on the left side. Now it breaks down to a 2-on-2 game. Nixon slides to the paint to help out. And the running hook by Chambers misses, and Rambis has got the rebound. Kurt Rambis will drop leave feed for Magic Johnson, who got banged on the hip. They're already without Eddie Jordan, who has got a fracture of the fibula. It's not a real serious fracture. And Kareem with that sky hook. They lost him 2 nights ago against this same San Diego team.
That's a serious fracture.
Well, it is.
You have to guard that.
16-7, LA with a big lead. Michael Brooks trying to get to Armand Hill, and it hit Magic Johnson in the hands and out of bounds. It's never good to lose one of your people. And we've had a lot of injuries in the NBA this year. Milwaukee loses Quinn Buckner last week in Phoenix for the year. They've already lost Junior Bridgman. Jordan gone for a while. Kupchak gone. Sway Nader out for the year. Brian Taylor to the Clippers out. Achilles surgery. Oh, look at the passing. How sweet it is. Jamal Wilkes from Magic Johnson.
That's what the Lakers do best, and anytime they get those opportunities, they're going to hurt you.
18-7 on our USA scoreboard here in San Diego. Tommy Chambers from Utah. Down to Armand Hill. Princeton grad posting up on Nixon. And Hill, who is bigger than Norm Nixon, got him in deep. He's 6'4". And watch the Lakers in action at the other end.
Well, a clinic on the break, and this is what the Lakers like to look for every time down. Nixon to Johnson, Jamal Wilkes, and an easy 2 points. Now, the thing that is hurting the San Diego Clippers at the other end as Joe Bryant comes in the ball game, the fact that their primary scorers are not really getting the look at the basketball. The men up front will carry the offensive load, and yet the guards are doing most of the scoring, Brogan and Hill, and they're not noted for shooting the basketball.
Armand Hill, 77% shooter. Nixon, running back hook, no good. Brooks, we saw that replay of the Lakers in that basket at the other end. That shouldn't surprise. They average about 28 assists a game. They move it around very well. Magic Johnson will get caught for this foul. Magic Johnson.
Magic reaching in the backcourt as Hill almost had a clean breakaway. There was one Laker back. I believe that was Kurt Rambis, so Magic picked up the foul. The one key to getting an assist, Eddie, is somebody's got to make the basket for you. You can pass it around, but if you can't get it to go down, it's no assist.
Mike McGee, the rookie #1 pick for the Lakers, you saw a moment ago. He just came in the game. Mike McGee. He is a very offensive-minded young guy. 6'5", 190 from Michigan. Averaged almost 25 a game with the Wolverines last year. And he is a very graceful young athlete that they say in time will make a contribution. He is in, being played by Armand Hill. They've got Wilkes with Magic. Nixon has gone out, and they've got McGee to guard. Kareem on the back door and fouled. And to the line he'll go. He is the king of them all, folks. UCLA, Player of the Year, MVP, and here's why.
Well, he had thoughts of taking it over the top, realized he was perhaps a step too far away, just reached up and laid it in. Whitehead cracked him across the arm. The Lakers have a comfortable 9-point advantage, looking at a possible 10.
72% career shooter. This year, Kareem, 70%. You believe that? There's a good trivia question. When was Jabbar the NC2A Player of the Year? 67. Played on 3 NC2A champions. Hill knocked down Whitehead. And the hoop looked like it didn't want it, then it swallowed it up. 21-13. LA with that kind of a lead. 4.5 to play in the period. Magic Johnson. On the lob, the big man. And Magic and Kareem with a reciprocal salute as Jelly Bean Joe brings it down. He's a 6'9" guard. Whitehead on the screen, look for the pick and roll. They go the other way to Armand Hill. In the middle of Whitehead, flashing back up. Couldn't hang on. Rambis ahead to the fleeting McGee. Blocked and knocked away cleanly. And that was Joe Bryant, 6'9", coming from nowhere. 7-year man from LaSalle.
Good hustle by Jelly Bean Joe to get back here. Mike McGee thought he had a clean layup, took his time. I'm sure if he thought Bryant was going to come in that big a rush, he would have gone up with a little bit more authority.
Kareem, backdoor, no-look pass. Oh, my goodness. How sweet it is, says Magic Johnson. That backdoor, no-look pass. Unbelievably well done. Chambers, backdoor, he goes. And on the running, turning hook, Jamal, the Lakers are trying to run, obviously. In the middle on a 3-on-2. Rambis, overlays, and a foul. The Lakers will blow you out early if you're not able to transition. And also, if you're only able to get one shot away at the other end. Brooks will come out. Al Wood will come in. The action tonight in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee with a win over Atlanta puts a dent in Detroit's hopes as Milwaukee beat Atlanta 117-113. New York 111 and Cleveland 110. That was a close one. In Houston 104, Golden State 10. What was that? 104-102, I thought. They had 101. All right, so that's a 2-point win in that first game that you saw on the USA Network. LA 26, the Clippers 13. Armand Hill to Chambers, who pops high. Whitehead goes the other way, sets the down screen to provide Al Wood, but Jamal Wilkes fights over the top, comes up, tightens up on the D. That's Joe Bryant, 6'9", forcing the shot. Whitehead with a good rebound. He's done a great job here this year. Kareem on a block. That doesn't surprise because Jabbar is like number 3 in the league in block shots with 2.72 a game.
Well, Jerome Whitehead is going to decide to challenge the big fella. Took that power bounce to get it back up inside. Looked like Kareem was all on top of that one, but he gets the benefit of the whistle and goes to the line. You talk about improvement in a player.
Yeah,
no one could have foreseen the big improvement that Jerome Whitehead has made with the playing opportunities he's got with Swinton going down with the injury.
Well, he looks like he should be in Star Wars with those goggles on. My kids would love him. There's Whitehead, who has come along very nicely. This kid played with Marquette back in the glory days of Al McGuire, and he has worked extremely hard with the help of his coaches and Pete Newell in the offseason to improve his game. And he shows good promise. He's got good quickness, and he stepped in and filled the hole left by the injured Swin native. Ron Brewer, or I should say Jim Brewer, has come in. Ron Brewer with Cleveland, of course. They were beaten by the Knicks by 1 tonight. There's Big Brew. He has adjusted to his role as a bench player very nicely. And Bob McAdoo also has just come on. McAdoo, chipped by Brewer. So the two guys that come off the bench, they call themselves the Blues Brothers. As they sit on the end of the Laker bench, the Blues as opposed to the Golds, and they lead by a 28-15 margin.
This is a unit that the San Diego Starters could have an excellent chance of catching up with if they could take better care of the basketball. Certainly, they have to begin to do it at the defensive end. They've got to stop the basketball right now.
Armand Hill tried to hit Chambers with a backdoor bounce feed. Chambers couldn't hang on, turn it over. 28-15 LA. There's Big Brew, former All-American Minnesota. Throws it out Wilkes. Wilkes wasn't ready. Al Wood missed the dunk. Foul underneath. There's a question of Wood being too concerned where the man trailing was. Should have just gone up. He looked back, and he did not have his timing down, and Brewer caught for the foul anyway. And Al Wood, who came over as part of the Freeman Williams deal from Atlanta, will go to the line.
Well, Wood takes that final look over Jim Brewer. It's a slight contact right there, but I don't think that's what caused him to miss the hammer. He just mistimed his jump, hit the ball off the back rim. Probably that's the time you want to try to lay it up and hope you get a three-point play.
Al Wood, young #1 pick. One of 3 that the Clippers, in essence, have come up with in the last 2 years. They made the trade to get him. But with Brooks 2 years ago, Chambers this year, and Wood, they have the nucleus, the making. They got a couple players in the draft. They could turn it around in a couple of years. That's certainly what they're hoping for. Brewer, open lane, weak side. Magic Johnson. Boy, he's got eyes in the back of his head. 30-17, you see, 2:15 in the period. The Lakers really put the Clippers in the deep freeze the other night in L.A. when they went to a zone trap. I probably shouldn't say that, but went to a trap defense in the third period and forced the Clippers into 10 turnovers. You tighten up on this San Diego team because of their inexperience. They're going to make some mistakes. So look for the Lakers to lace it up tight. Magic again, and McAdoo with the overlay. And the reject by Whitehead. And a loose ball foul will be called on Jerome Whitehead, I believe.
McAdoo's going to get to go shoot some free throws. An excellent pass by Johnson inside. McAdoo going up strong, decides he's going to take it off the glass and pushes it off too far. And you see the foul as Whitehead try to come over and retrieve that loose ball. So McAdoo will go to the line and a chance to get himself some cheap points.
McAdoo, 10-year man, 6'9", 210. He was in blue heaven when North Carolina won the NCAA championship. He played there 1 year, and his team went to the semifinals. And now Norman Nixon will come back in, and Magic Johnson will go out. Nixon, who's only missed 4 games his entire NBA career. He's got a lot of stamina, that little guy. Here's McAdoo, and now you're getting a look at John Douglas, another free agent that made the San Diego team. This was a good acquisition for L.A.
Bob McAdoo, certainly, I think that come money time, as he has seen in a couple of ball games, he had 30 against Kansas City. He still has that great offensive punch. They're going to need a player that's going to be able to come off the bench and add that dimension.
He's not physical. He replaces Jabbar, who's over in the bench. Brewer at one of the big forward positions, along with McGee, Norm Nixon, and they've got Jamal Wilkes, the other forward. So it's McGee and Nixon in the guards. Whitehead in and out. There's Allen on the iron tonight. Looks like a pinhole. 31-17. Now Wilkes. Clippers over the limit, so they can't afford any more fouls. 33-17 with 1:21, and the Lakers out rebounding San Diego 13-8, out assisting them 9-2, and they've only committed 1 turnover. 56% to the Clippers, 31% from the floor. It's been no contest so far.
Well, the Clippers are not giving themselves an opportunity to put the ball in the air. When you come down and you turn it over, it's an easy way to get yourself in the hole, or you don't put the ball in the hands of your primary offensive scorer. So they have got to tighten up their game at the offensive end as well as the defensive end. Whitehead with good deep position. That's got to make Paul Silas a little bit happier. You see this position as McAdoo is behind, puts the hands in the back. No problem making that call. You could have whistled that one, Eddie.
I sure could. 77% this year, 42% career. You talk about improvement. Jerome Whitehead misses this one. Jim Brewer. He's older than dirt. He's been around 9 years. 6'9", a 73 graduate from Minnesota out of Maywood, Illinois. 33-19. Big Brew. He likes his role. He doesn't have to work quite as hard, and he contributes. Nixon on the pick. Got the good screen that time from McAdoo. Came over it. Shot the jumper and is fouled by John Douglas.
I guess this is example of when a team is struggling, and certainly the Clippers are, as we see McAdoo come up. No help there. Whitehead came up too late. John Douglas trying to chase. He tripped him across the arm.
Well, Steve, that was an excellent example of how you set the screen, plant yourself, and the guard, in this case Nixon, took his man to the screen. So there was no offensive foul committed on the part of the screener. And a lot of the times that you see fouls called on the screen is because the guard does not take his man to that screen. Nixon, very good job in doing so. 34-19, turn it over.
Another turnover, and as we said here in the first period, that has really hurt the San Diego Clippers.
Got a hot potato there. McAdoo to Wilkes. UCLA grad off the iron and a loose ball foul. It'll be called on Mike McGee, and Whitehead will troll down to the other end. As you look at Pat Riley.
Well, Pat Riley can only be concerned that his team becomes overly confident at this particular stage and stops trying. As Jerome Whitehead has given it all, he'll go to the free throw line at the other end. They are down by 15. The Lakers played this type of game, Eddie, though, that will allow the Clippers to get back in the game if they can begin to do something at both ends of the court. Offensively, take better care of the basketball, and defensively, force the Lakers out further on the court and force them out of their offense.
Paul Silas has used 16 different lineups this year. He's had his team shot full of holes. He's got more holes in his team than they do in your favorite hunk of Swiss cheese. This is tough. It's been a tough year for Paul Silas. 34-20 to score with 37 seconds, and the ball will not go down for Whitehead. Whitehead, 7 points worth so far. First period in San Diego. We weren't kidding about the rain and cold, folks. The weather's lousy here. McGee.
Pass from McAdoo.
Sweet pass. Oh, they set it up nice, Steve. They went back to the weak side man cutting back door, and it was well done. Jump pass.
Well, many people have said Bob McAdoo will not give the basketball up, but you clearly see that he plays team basketball also. Found Mike McGee inside for the high percentage shot. Got it. He missed his three-point try.
Mike McGee not shooting the ball that well at the free throw line. 36-20 by 16. And they'll work for a final shot here in the period. That's John Douglas, Kansas. His brother is Leon Douglas with Kansas City. Douglas was a fine college player, 6'3", 185. Played the CBA also. No. And they've got it with 4, 3, 2. They'll try and get one shot away. Big Brew got it away. And so John Douglas sat out of basketball for an entire year and then came back. He's open. And took too much time to launch the shot, took it in a little closer. Well, it was a good percentage shot. He knew better than I what he wanted to do, and he made the right decision. 36-22. Douglas, who is down in the annals of Kansas basketball history, did a good job in college. Nixon to Big Brew. He's 6'9". Packs a lot of muscle on that frame. There's McGee. Strong offensive player. Made his mark in the Aloha Classic a year ago, and we'll have that for you on the USA Network in the next couple of weeks. Steve and I will be there next week to do it. Inside, in the paint, and traveling call on Jamal Wilkes.
Well, you never want to give a team that many opportunities. Al Wood made the mistake when he initially garnered that rebound of putting it behind his head. Brewer knocked it loose, so that gave the Lakers another try, and luckily Jamal traveled on that, or they come up with another easy hoop.
11:09 till halftime. We'll have an interview with Magic Johnson and an NBA feature. Deep, good pass. Joe Bryant overlaid. He overlaid a one-footer and overlaid it again. And recovered by John Douglas. Has to change up, and the Lakers knock the ball out of bounds. Bryant with a double overlay. I'll tell you what, he couldn't do that well if he went to his favorite hamburger place. That's a double dipper.
Well, he looked like he wanted to go up for a dunk, put it back off the glass too hard, got it back, flipped it back on the other side. I guess that's 2 airmail specials.
Or a double dip on one trip. 36-22. On the inbound. You get 5 to get it in. He had 1 to spare. Bryant on the thrust. He wants that 2-pointer, and he'll not get it this time. 0 for 3 on this time down. Here's Big Brew. Lakers 54% at the end of the first period. San Diego 30. They out-rebounded the Clippers 20 to 14. And there'll be a foul call. You saw the turnovers. That hasn't helped. Magic Johnson with 6 assists in the game so far. Oh, boy. Magic Johnson is something else. Jim Brogan, he replaces Joe Bryant. 6'6" for 6'9".
Well, I think that right now, Paul Silas is trying to find a combination that's going to begin to play at least competitive basketball out there. Magic is in the ball game, and they will, of course, try to continue to keep the pressure on Mike McGee at the line, and noted for his ability to shoot the basketball, but both times we've seen him up there by himself on the line, he's come away with nothing.
Pat Riley, who played in San Diego as a rookie in the NBA and also played a little bit with the Lakers, he says he knows about the Blues Brothers, the guys that sit on the bench, because that's where he spent his entire career. 37-22. Magic Johnson, incidentally, may become the first player in 10 years to have 600 points and 600 assists.
Douglas is playing like he wants a spot on this basketball team. He's going to come out and challenge Norm Nixon. That's what they need the rest of the Clippers to do at this end. Try to slow the Lakers down and make them shoot the ball from the outside. Good play by Whitehead.
Whitehead out ahead. I shouldn't say that 10 years. What I meant to say was 600 rebounds and 600 assists. And you see the foul by Brewer. Oh, the Clippers trying to come roaring back. 37-26. They can cut it to 10 right here. As Wiley, who came in the game, is going to get himself a pair.
Well, this got Paul Silas off the bench as Whitehead had to change the angle of the shot, got it off the back, and finally danced around for him. He has a chance for a three-point play. They like his ability to score it, and let's see if they can get him the ball in an area where he can do some damage.
He's a second-round pick of San Antonio. This is his second year. 6'9", 200, cut loose, signed as a free agent here. Averaged about 20.5 points a game as a senior at Long Beach State a couple years ago. Michael Wiley, deep to McAdoo. Pump fake and a foul. And Jim Smith, who just came in for San Diego, got the foul. He's a big, strong kid from Ohio State.
Well, he's going to give a foul. When he gives it, you know it's been given. He comes in and plays a very physical brand of basketball. They brought him in the middle to give Jerome Whitehead a breather, but he likes to let you know he's inside. And I'm sure that he won't be in very long the way he plays.
Bob McAdoo. McAdoo with 2, making 3 points so far here tonight. Now here's the pressure. This is what caused so many turnovers for the Lakers. Now they relax a little bit. They really put it on wall to wall in the third period in Los Angeles the other night, put the trap on, and they turned the Clippers into 10 turnovers. 39-26. Al Wood, North Carolina. He's got to be happy about what happened, and he discontinued the dribble, or double dribble.
Well, you know, what he wants now is playing time. He would like to get a feel of what the NBA is really like on a consistent basis. When he first got traded here, he had to sit. Then he started to play, sprained his ankle, so he's been in and out of the lineup, a lot of it due to injuries.
On the hook overlaid. Boy, oh boy, Magic went down in a tumble that time, and a loose ball foul called underneath. And so the Lakers now with their second team foul, and that McGee will have his second. Now McGee comes back, puts a little bother pressure on, and then relaxes and they'll pick him up midcourt. Nixon on Douglas. Michael Brooks from LaSalle. Jim Smith, Ohio State. Inside Douglas. Almost took too much time. 39-28. John Douglas. 6 points in the game.
As I said before, Douglas is the only player showing any aggressiveness out there as Mike McGee comes in with a good follow-up of a Magic Norm Nixon miss.
41-28 is the score of the basketball game. 8:41, the Lakers in the second period with a lead. Brogan, there's your pick. Look for your pick and slip. Smith has got himself on McGee. I like that. That's 6'8" against 6'4". The in and outer won't go down. Magic, he tells Nixon to get up ahead on the left wing. He's going to give it to him. Wow. Magic Johnson just directed that whole scenario there as he told Nixon to get out ahead on the fly, and he'd get him the ball, and he did.
He asked him one question. How easy do you want the 2 points?
Just get out and run, young man. And deep to Brooks, rhythm bounce.
Number 7, Michael.
43-30 by 13, the Lakers. That's Magic again. Boy, he sets a furious tempo.
Brooks' second opportunity to shoot the basketball. Now, that's the shot that McAdoo normally puts down as McGee gets a follow-up with a pass from Magic.
Boy, he's playing great. 45-30 is the score of the ball game. 7:39 to play here in the half. Smith, Douglas has Brooks inside. Brooks won't set the pick. He'll slip to the hoop instead and lay it in. Pretty good reaction there. A little 2-on-2 game. 7:29 and ticking down, and the playoffs are around the corner. We'll have some beauties for you this year, and you'll see many of them on USA. 45-32, score of the ball game. Lakers with the lead in the ball. That's Magic Johnson. Nixon on the cut. Second man cutting through McAdoo. McAdoo could ring that one clean and clear when he was back in Buffalo. Well, he's played very well for LA since joining the club here this season. Brooks, Whitehead. That's John Douglas in the backup dribble. Out of congestion, try to get it down inside to Brooks. How good can Brooks be?
Well, I think Michael Brooks has already established himself as a very good NBA talent. Certainly, with the consistent group of players around him, he's going to improve. He's averaging just around 16 points a ball game now, and the team has been struggling. A good, deep player, runs the court very well, and plays good, hard, aggressive defense.
6:50 to play in the half. Brogan. John Douglas. Nixon's on him. They give him room. Three-pointers. Tip. No. Tipped over by Brooks. Almost got two out of it. No block out inside by McAdoo. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in the ball game. Lakers have out-rebounded them by 11 so far in the game. They have a foul call. Mark Landsberger also in. He's a bench player, and here's the foul.
Well, if they can continue to go at this rate, Pat Riley may point his finger at you as Jimmy Brogan tries to guard the talented Magic Johnson. He just wheels around him. Got to put pressure on him, perhaps make Johnson try to handle that ball a little bit more with that opposite hand.
My big chance, huh? Nixon back to Magic Johnson. Landsberger with the sagging back defensive Brogan. Landsberger gets it back. Goaltending possibly? Well, let's see what the call is. Foul call inside on Jimmy Smith.
Smith is going to be coming. Landsberger with good deep position, and now is the time you've got to use some intelligence. Realize that the players in the basket area, you don't want to bail them out, possibly give them a three-point play. Landsberger not noted for shooting free throws. See how he does tonight.
I guess not. Landsberger, so far in 1981-82, 47%. Makes the first. Landsberger career, 52%. Young man from Arizona State, originally with the Chicago Bulls. That'd be a great team for him. The way he plays, he's a big, strong guy. 47-32 score of the ball game. Lakers with the lead. Michael Brooks. On the cut, Kareem plays him up on the switch, and they throw the ball away and out of bounds. Well, you put a little pressure on him, and the inexperience shows.
Well, I think they're trying to force the interior passes, and that gets them in a lot of trouble, too, as they see that ball swatted away.
Whitehead. Douglas. A little show and tell time there as Douglas showed and then took it back and told them all that he was going to lay it in for a pair. 47-34 with 5:50 in the half. Pat Riley, the youthful Laker coach, the youngest NBA head coach in the league. Norman Nixon, Kareem, he whistles that pass around. The big guy coming down inside left, and they jam him up with three different Clippers, and it's Smith again. Jim Smith, he's got a passel of fouls already.
Well, I told you he plays a very physical game, very aggressive. He's going to go to wherever the basketball is. Paul Silas put him in to try to get some aggressiveness in there, but not to be a little wild and foolish about it. He's picked up three quick fouls. That's going to see Tom Chambers get back in the ball game. Now, the thing that Pat Riley has to be concerned about, his team is only 13 up, and certainly we've seen San Diego begin to eat into that lead, that they continue to maintain their intensity. Certainly right now they feel like they can play water faucet basketball. We turn it on hot and cold, but that can get you in trouble because you can get in that extended cold streak.
You saw Jamal Wilkes and Tom Chambers just come in the game for their respective teams. 48-34 the score. Douglas at a guard. John Douglas. He is 6'3". Chambers is 6'11". Whitehead. Weak side flash. Brogan knocked away L.A. Good defensive hands. Out ahead Nixon to Wilkes. They are strong. The Lakers 50-34 trying to show that they are the team to look for coming out of the West. Can they go back and do what they did 2 years ago when they won the big crown? Chambers. Brogan tries to draw the defense out. Slips it to underneath the Whitehead. A little move by Whitehead as he kind of pulling up and under. And Magic Johnson, as he goose steps it down the timeline. And the no-look pass is swiped away by Douglas. He's got a 3-on-1 rush. And Kareem. Looked like a goalie in hockey, didn't he? Wilkes, Landsberger. Oh, they're getting cute out there now. He put it down and then he continued to dribble again. That's a nice little move, Mark. But you got to continue the dribble there. Magic had an idea here, but what happens?
Well, John Douglas, I saw it.
Jerome Whitehead. Douglas on a screen by Chambers. Nixon fights over it, and then they get it down to Chambers. Back to Douglas, trying to draw Nixon back. He wants to sag back and help out on Chambers. Instead, Magic comes down, and Chambers forces the ball out of his hands into the opposition's. And there's Wilkes, and a foul. It's become a no contest here in the first half. 52-34 with 4:16 to play here in the half.
Well, it's a track meet. Magic Johnson leading the way. He just orchestrates right there. Jamal Wilkes again out on the left wing, gets the ball, gets the foul, has a chance for a three-point play. You do a lot of track and field. What's it like when a sprinter takes on a weight man?
When a sprinter what? Takes what?
Takes on a weight man in a race.
Well, you see a lot of heels. 52-34. It's like when you're halfway down the track, he is through the string. Here's Jerome. Makes a nice 360, and Kareem stays right with him. The big guy playing very active defense that time inside. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Well, Kareem is probably best defensively when he can get that step and stretch his long body out. Whitehead thought he was clean, but we saw the result.
He has played over 1,000 NBA games and still rolling. Whitehead, poke checked away by Magic Johnson. Picked up by Wilkes, 2-on-2. Drop lead feed, Landsberger. Golden give him 5, Mark. He made that one happen for you. Magic Johnson is all over the floor. 20-point Laker lead. Brooks to Whitehead. Lakers are putting on a clinic. Brooks and a possible three-pointer as Magic Johnson comes over and commits the foul.
That's Michael Brooks' strength. Inside, he likes it down and deep and showing that, you know, he can get the basketball down there. He certainly can do big damage. Magic Johnson doesn't agree with the call. Paul Silas has not had much to be happy about so far here in the first 2 periods of play.
And the Lakers are playing without Michael Cooper, who has a groin pull or a strain. He's out of action. Eddie Jordan is out of action. Kupchak. Imagine what they'd be like if they had all 3 of them. Ooh, 54-37. Nixon got caught in a log jam, but fights over it and gets the ball. Triangle on the right. Magic's going to shoot one of his rare outside shots. He doesn't usually take it out that deep. Tom Chambers, 6.5 rebounds a game with him. Douglas. There's Jim Brogan. Magic sags back. And the youngster has just pumped home a pair. Brogan with 6. That's about his season average. First one a foul. Barr will go to the line. What a career he has had. 13 years, 7'2", 235. Good rainbow and off the front of the arc. 6-time MVP, as I mentioned, 5 times. He's been first team all defense. When he came in the league, he said, I'll do all those other things. What I want to do, though, is gain recognition for my defensive abilities. He's done it 5 times first string. 11-time All-Star. And the man on top of all of that has got a tremendous collection of jazz records and Oriole rugs. Brooks taken away on the way up. Magic Johnson. Boy, he reads so well. They had 2 men on Brooks, and Johnson dropped down from that side, still held out and flicked the ball away. It'll be the Lakers to inbound. 12 on the shot clock when they did. Brogan jumps down. And Brooks then taken away by Landsberger. Give it to the guard. Magic said, give me the ball. That's his job. Landsberger does. You obey. Magic says, give me the ball. There aren't many guys that can handle it the way he does. Nixon pops off a Kareem screen. Norm Nixon. Boy, they're executing extremely well. Well over 50% for the game, and Nixon with 9.
Well, as easy as the Lakers have had it, you notice that they're aggressive at the defensive end, trying to create some easy opportunities, making it tough for the San Diego Clippers to get the ball up and down. They've missed some easy inside shots, and they've been able to get out and start the break.
Landsberger played it in with the left hand. Landsberger's not normally the kind of guy that'll score a lot of points. He has 6 already here tonight, 59-39 by 20.
He'll score a lot of points from 1 foot and in, Eddie, and that's where he's getting them.
Well, you remember Clyde Lee, don't you? Clyde used to do that, too. And we have a whistle and a foul call, and it's going to be on Mark Landsberger, I believe. 59-39. Pat Riley.
54. Mark Landsberger.
And is stylish, Pat Riley. The Lakers at one time this year had won 9 in a row, and another time they'd won 7 in a row, and then they had a 6-game winning streak at different intervals. But right now they don't have much of a streak going. They're just trying to put it together as Paul Silas and his assistant Bill Westfall look on, and they just continually try and scramble the pieces to try and come up with the right combinations, and it does not seem to be happening for them. Chambers on the miss.
Well, I think the thing that they've tried to guard against, but it appears that it's taken over, is a loser's mentality, where a team gets in that syndrome where they look for things on the negative side to happen. They generally come up. They begin to play passive basketball, and they usually find a way to lose.
Chambers is a man they're trying to put some upper body strength on. They'll go to the Nautilus with him in the offseason. Landsberger. Wow, he's having a career here in the first half. Landsberger from Magic, and Magic does a good job of letting everybody know that he appreciates the teamwork.
Well, pressure, good play from Kareem. He gets the ball back out to Magic. He swings it around. Landsberger just keeps moving, staying within his range, comes out the other side. He has a chance for a three-point play, and we'll see if he's got any of Hal Greer in him, as he's one of those rare jump shooters from the free throw line.
Mike McGee, who played at Michigan, Magic, who played down the road in East Lansing. Wonder how they get along these days. That's a pretty good rivalry over there in the state of Michigan. Jerome Whitehead has gone out. They've got Michael Wiley back in the game, and they'll slide Tom Chambers in the middle. So they really do miss Swan Nader so much. 62-39. It's a no contest job so far here tonight. John Douglas, San Diego trying to work, trying to gain some experience, trying to hone and refine, and trying to look to the future. Hopes. All kinds of hopes. John Douglas.
John Douglas has been a bright spot for him here in the second period. He's come up with 10 points, and really, he's been very aggressive.
And McGee at the other end, beating Douglas to the hoop. Mike McGee has got 9.
That's one of the things that the Lakers do so well, though. They run well after a made basket, so you've got to get back at every turnover of the basketball, whether it's made or turned over.
Look at the defense applied by L.A. Boy, they're doing a good job. Up they come to Magic. He's got wingman trailing, and look at what I found. And Landsberger almost had himself another made-to-order pair. Well, I tell you, Magic Johnson is putting on an exhibition.
In the middle of the court and having a good time. A big, long dribble with that long arm. He looks at John Douglas and said, John, don't worry, I'm not going to shoot it. Lays it off to Landsberger, who, again, is in that 1 foot zone. And anytime you're in that close, nothing but good things can happen for you.
Looks like he's got a rubber ball on a string there. The way he shows it, takes it back. Or a tennis ball on a rubber band. Boy, he'd lay it out there and bring it back.
Stay after it, San Diego.
How
we'll get it right. That rubber ball routine, stay after it. Comes back and it goes to you.
Once in a while, yeah. Remember the old paddle board? Out and in. Substitution, Al Wood. As Brooks goes to the other side. I'll make that John Douglas. Here's Al Wood. #1 draft pick of the Atlanta Hawks. They gave up on him. What was that? That ball never went out of bounds.
Referee said it did.
Ball never went out of bounds. 66-41. Wiley. Knocked away by Wilkes. McGee and Wilkes with Wood trailing, and Wilkes set the screen for McGee. It was kind of a rolling screen. Chambers. Almost taken away by Magic. In the toaster, they're popping around down there. Here comes Magic Johnson. And that is the end of the first half. There's your score, and we will return in just a minute to see the Lakers on top at 7 points in the first half. Jamal Wilkes with 10, Kareem with 11, 11 for Mike McGee, 11 for Landsberger, and we are underway. That is Armand Hill, Tom Chambers, Douglas was their big man with 10. Jerome Whitehead, Chambers on Rambis. And the ball knocked away, and LA has come up with another one. What about that assist mark for Magic Johnson in the first half, Steve?
Well, again, you know, Magic is going to give the ball up to the open man. They've been able to run, and that makes him very, very effective. We see Rambis work his way inside for a nice little lefty jump hook.
I think they have the wrong assist total here. They have 11 for Norm Nixon, and it should be Magic Johnson. They better correct that on the scoring sheet. 70-41. Again, another turnover. Boy, that's 15 for San Diego. 15 turnovers here so far in the game. 72-41. 31 points. Now, this crowd very disappointed, I'm sure.
Well, they're seeing an entertaining show, and they're seeing how basketball should be played by the Los Angeles Lakers. They're seeing their team not respond to the challenge. They are not aggressive at either end of the court, and that's what's hurting them at this particular point. They can be competitive. There's no excuse for lack of effort, and that's what we see right now.
Don't worry about sending money to them. Send it to us. Jones and Doucette. We've got to go to Hawaii. We only got one ticket to get there. How are we going to do that?
Hey, you're talking about the coin flip.
Here we go. Overland Armand Hill. Up they come to Nixon from Rambis. 2-on-1.
Should be a timeout by Paul Silas, but it appears he's going to wait it out. The track meet is still on 6-0 here very early.
Boy, what a rebound advantage to LA, 30-16. First half. The one figure that we had, of course, in our scoring included team rebounds, and sometimes they'll differentiate. The actual figure we have is 30-16. Tom Chambers. And there's Chambers again following, and blocked by the big man. He does that for a career. And Brooks with an overlay. We've seen a lot of that. Magic to Nixon. On the crossover, the kid from Atlanta by way of Duquesne. There's a 3-on-1 with the big fella back in the middle. Brogan. Brooks. Do you think the big guy intimidates? Brooks going to try it again. 74-43, score of the game. Deflected by Brogan and out of bounds. That'll give the rest of the defense a chance to come down and set up. There's Jimmy Brogan, young-looking guy, very tough competitor, and Paul Silas is happy with the way he's played. Magic Johnson, back to Jamal Wilkes. Funny-looking shot, but it's very effective. And Rambis at 6'8", banging inside of Chambers at 6'11". Boy, that Rambis is a tough kid.
Nice pass from Jimmy Brogan that time, and that's one of the few times that they've challenged at the offensive end, but they're going to give it right back up.
Strong going up. Wilkes. Defender right there, and Wilkes still went up and laid it in. Well, here's an interesting note on that Cleveland game. Cleveland was up by 26 points in the third period and then lost the game 111-110. Oh, my goodness. Bill Musselman has got to have his head over the edge of the cliff over there by Lake Erie right now.
Well, I don't know. When you come back from being fired and take a job with the team that's losing, perhaps your head's already been over the cliff.
Well, maybe. You got a raise, too. 76-45 is the score of this game. Out on top to Whitehead. Chambers goes inside. They go to Armand Hill. Never been much of an outside shooter. His game is defense and moving the ball. Chambers backdoor. Nice move. Brogan comes inside. You know, you watch this kid Brogan, and he may not be possessed with all the talent in the world, but he has a great vision for the floor.
Well, Brogan moving without the basketball. This time he's trying to take it inside. Tom Chambers with an excellent feed, so he challenges Magic Johnson trying to get back. Magic picks up his third personal foul. None of the Lakers really in serious foul trouble.
Jimmy Brogan, kind of kid that you'd expect to see him walking around with a shillelagh in his hand, wouldn't you? Brogan, a real fine young man who has come in here and he's tried to do a job and has, when you consider that he didn't come from that active a program. Active in the sense of major college competition, but boy, he has done a nice job for the Clippers. Bumps and bangs, tries to put the body on Magic Johnson. Jamal, Kareem with a screen for him. Little jump switch, now Whitehead got caught in the switch, and they've got Brooks on Kareem on a mismatch. And on the missed shot, Chambers to Brogan. They're trying to run with the Lakers. 76-47. Another bad pass, forced by Michael Brooks. 16th turnover. San Diego. Inside to Rambis. Kurt Rambis. He's like a wild stallion with that hair. flowing in the breeze.
Well, that's just a good basketball by the Lakers. They push it up the floor very quickly. Wilkes doesn't get the primary man, which is Nixon ahead, but Rambis is fouling, and he gets the easy hoop.
And an illegal defense is called against Los Angeles. Illegal defense warning. Brooks, Chambers, backdoor. There goes Armand Hill. Nice move by Armand. The veteran from Princeton. Nice move by Magic.
To coast.
That's what you call slaloming through the crowd. 80-49.
Well, Magic just has 4 points in this basketball game, but he's been very, very effective. He's looked to rebound it and give it up, and that's exactly what he's done.
Mike McGee is going to get a call from Coach Pat Riley of the Lakers off the rhythm box, and the missed shot that time by Jim Brogan. Rambis. Brogan snuck it. He sneaked in there and took it away. Jim Brogan. Kid's got a lot of courage, boy, I'm telling you.
Dizzy Dean would have said snuck, so it's okay, Eddie.
Yeah, but I changed my thought. Well, you trying to put the hurt on me tonight here, Mr. Jones. 80-51's the score. And Norm Nixon.
Oh, my.
Acrobatic with a left-hand scoop. Not bad. Norman Nixon. Armand Hill gets the foul. He has one. The Clippers have two. Al Wood has come in for San Diego. There he is.
I think perhaps Pat Riley will try to let his starters play just a little bit more with such a huge lead. We probably will see a lot of the people that have not played much for the Lakers get a chance to play. Norm Nixon completes the three-point play.
You'll see a lot of the kids that will be playing in the summer league for LA in the game before long. They go to that league and try and refine their tools and do a good job. Larry Krieger, who is the man that heads it all up. Chambers deflected just enough by Kareem to take it away. Brogan rejected. Whitehead on the trampoline. 3 shots at it, and they get it back for another try. So at least they're hanging in there a little bit more actively on the boards.
Well, Kareem made an excellent block. They had 3 tries at it inside, so it just sees how you can see how tough a night they're having as far as getting the ball to go down.
Plenty of time. Brogan on the miss. And a loose ball foul is called inside against somebody from the Lakers. 83-51. Mike McGee has come into the game. Kurt Rambis gets the foul. His second, and the Lakers have 2. As Norman Nixon will go out. Nixon, who had 13 assists the other day against San Diego, will get a rest here tonight. McGee, incidentally, the young man that just came in, had his career high against the Clippers, 27 points earlier this year. 83-51. Do we have a problem with the clock?
Timeout.
Now the man that owns this San Diego, Guy Lafleur. 83-51 here, LA, as they try and go for their 3rd consecutive 50-plus win season. A win tonight puts them at 5-0. That's Whitehead on the big man. Nice move by Jerome. And you saw the strong guard, Magic Johnson, drop down to double up on the man with the ball. Johnson's been doing that and doing it well all night. And Brogan almost cleaned and pressed him at midcourt. Mike McGee, played by Armand Hill. Knocked away, Al Wood. Magic gets it back. And what do we have here? Over and back? Yes, sir. Over and back, says Jess Kersey.
Well, Jess Kersey said he had control. It appeared that he did. And Al Wood trying to get to the basketball. The ball bounced off Magic's knee in the back court, and he picked it back up. They go from front to back.
They haven't turned it over many times tonight, Steve. That's one of the few. 83-53 by 30, L.A. Clinic time here at the San Diego Sports Arena. Brogan on the three-point line. Back to Armand Hill. Pretty good move by Armand. The Lakers have not done well when they've gone into the 4th period trailing in the game. In fact, they're like 8-18. And that's been the big question that a lot of people have asked. Can they do it in a close game when they have to go to a half-court offense and control the flow of the game? When they have to settle it down and go for the big play. Many folks seem to think that that's where they're going to have their problems in the playoffs. 85-55.
Well, you know, you've been speaking about the King, and that's the one thing that the King has been able to do in half-court situations, swing that sky hook and force defenses to make some adjustments to him.
But that's good for him because he's done it before under Larry Costello in Milwaukee, but the rest of these Lakers seem to want to run all the time. And that's the question as to whether they will be able to control. And now we see Magic trying to slow it down and set it up for the King. And the hook is off and out of bounds. Bob McAdoo will come in, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will go out. There's the big man. He looked at me tonight and he said, hey, there's still a couple of us from the old guard left, right, Eddie? I said, yeah, we're stumbling along, aren't we, big guy? 85-57. Jamal Wilkes at the line.
You know, that's one of those trivia questions. How many losing teams has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played on since being a professional? I think that that's one of the outstanding tributes to him, the fact that he's had so many winning seasons.
And Wilkes on the miss tried to follow it up and deflected it over to Chambers. Up they go now. Brogan, Al Wood, strong baseline player, played forward at North Carolina. They'd like to see him play guard here, but they don't know whether he is capable of making the adjustment. Here's Jim Boone now, and out goes Kurt Rambis, and Magic Johnson gets his 4th foul.
Magic picks up his 4th foul, and with the lead that they have, certainly it's not going to hurt him. If he takes a seat, he's going to get arrested at some point in this ball game anyway.
Wood. One thing that they've said all year long about San Diego is they've not played well, but they've played hard. They've never quit. And again, the story tonight. Wilkes. And so many fouls on basket-made situations resulting in three-point plays have put the Clippers in a position where they're so far in the hole they couldn't get up with a rope ladder.
Well, a good hustle back by Hill to knock the ball away from Magic Johnson, but it rolled right over to Jamal Wilkes. He's picked up a quiet 10 points here in the third period to give him a total of 20. Now he has 21 for the ball game.
89-57, Steve Jones. The Lakers will be 50-23 if this continues. Seattle 3.5 out after tonight's action. They are idle. They'll lose a half a game. Brogan, Bango. He fell down on the play. Brogan with 11. Hustling guard from West Virginia Wesleyan. 4:10 to play here in the third period. Here's McGee. McGee was an outstanding offensive player in college, and he was fouled by Armand Hill. There's a fellow that you rarely ever hear about. In fact, he played in Tuesday night's game for the first time since March 14th, Kevin McKenna, and he is playing in back-to-back games. I don't think that's happened for him all year long, has it? He replaces Jamal Wilkes.
Well, Wilkes comes out of the ball game. Now look at the lineup that's out on the floor. So now if the San Diego Clippers are to mount a charge at all, they'll have to do it against this unit, which has not played a lot together. This is probably the team that challenges the #1 unit for the Lakers in practice. And we'll see how they do against game competition.
McKenna is 6'7", a 4th-round draft choice from Creighton. McGee on the miss. Nixon is also back in the game. Magic Johnson's going out. So you've got John Douglas now, Al Wood, Jerome Whitehead, Tom Chambers, and Brogan. And Chambers does not set a very good pick as he tried to rev out McKenna, and McKenna blew right through him. Well, Chambers is going to have to work on upper body strength, as we had mentioned before. And Brewer will get the foul, and this man, Chambers, will go to the line. Steve, they did an extensive article on Chambers and his progress this first year. And with mixed reviews, he has played very well recently, but he has been roller coasterish, as is the case with many rookies. From Utah, 6'11", 2 1/4, the 8th pick in the first round, averaged around 19 a game and 9 rebounds last year. And they would like to see him go to the Nautilus and do what Swen Nader has done, put some body strength on. He's got a long way to go.
Well, I think not only does he have to pick up the upper body strength, but he also has to become more aggressive in his general outlook and attitude out there on the court. He's a little bit too passive and a little bit too soft, and only the strong survive in this league.
Well, maybe that might happen with a little additional strength. You get to feeling a little different about yourself and your strength. If they cut that hair, he might be like Samson. Maybe they cut it, he'd go the other way. I don't know. There's Chambers in the toaster, and he tries to go back up with it again, and he's fouled. Make no mistake about it, this young man has got tremendous skills, and he could be a very, very good player, but you've got to be patient.
Well, Eddie, I think, you know, he's had an interesting rookie season. Certainly, he's been a surprise in some ball games, a disappointment in others, but he's more of a finesse player. And I think when you have a finesse player, you don't expect him suddenly to turn into a Superman, bust out of the foam the phone booth, and suddenly you see this tremendous red S on his chest. I think that he's always going to be a finesse player, but I think he also has to have an aggressive attitude out there to go along with it and want those opportunities.
As I mentioned, he had 30 points and 12 rebounds against Phoenix last night, so he seemed to have done a pretty good job down there. 89-63, score of the basketball game. Los Angeles with the lead. Norman Nixon. Kevin McKenna. McAdoo is inside. McKenna, one of the few shots he has had, and a loose ball foul is called. What about McKenna? Now let's take a look and see what he has done. McKenna averaging 1.9 points per game.
Slightly better than you, Eddie, but he's known to be a shooter. You know, again, you know, it's not fair to look at statistics like that because he's not really had that many playing opportunities.
That's the difference, and that's why he's slightly better than me. I'm a passer. I make the assists, and he gets the shots. Here's Al Wood. Wood from North Carolina. Boy, oh boy, there were some people trying to juggle some names around in the draft or draft picks last year to get a shot at him. Atlanta wanted him, got him, and then gave up on him. Al Wood. Hurt earlier this year. McKenna from McAdoo.
Second time we've seen McAdoo dump that ball inside to an open player.
Yeah, you know, McAdoo's the guy that usually ends up releasing the shots. They've been known to lead the league in assists. Here's Chambers again. 91-65. He's got 10 points in the game. Make that 91-66. College seniors in the nation trying to impress pro scouts and fans on the Big Rock. McAdoo. Al Wood with Brogan ahead. Saves, but to the wrong people. And that is McKenna. To McGee with Brewer underneath low right.
Push off on
offensive
McGee.
Foul on McGee, using his offhand to get the move inside.
Now, McGee probably should have given that ball up. Jim Brewer's been standing down there underneath the basket for about a week, wide open. All he had to do was flip it in. He decided to challenge Chambers. Watch the left arm go out. Good call by Blaine Reichout.
The Lakers, who have lost 4 of the last 5 on the road, not going to let that happen tonight. Block shot on the turnaround. Brogan trying to look inside, draws a foul, and then lets it go. Well, he's been watching old Oscar Robertson films. That's one of the O's good moves.
Jim Brewer made an excellent block on Tom Chambers. A little bit overzealous right here, trying to deny that opportunity for Brogan. He already had him up in the air. He just went up to put the ball. Get another look at Brogan chasing down that block, and here comes Brewer.
Kaboom. Brogan, as I said, a very heady player. Not the most talented player in the league by a long way, but boy, I'll tell you, he plays hard. 73% at the line, Brogan, and Mark Landsberger comes in. He'd love to be 73% at the line. Landsberger's job is to go in there and move some bodies around. He's 6'8 plus from Arizona State. Big, strong kid that loves to rebound on the offensive end. And tonight he's had a great night scoring. He had 11 points in the first half. 91-68 with under 2 to play in the third. There's Norman Nixon. Only guard to amass 500 assists 5 consecutive years. Norm Nixon. McGee. Knocked loose by Al Wood to John Douglas to Brogan. And again, taking his time and banking it in. He's become the favorite of the crowd here because they know that when he comes in, things are going to happen. He really stirs some action. That is Norman Nixon. Nixon can play the game, can't he, folks?
And that's the kind of shot that San Diego would like to see the Lakers taking, as opposed to all of those layups that they've been seeing drop down. Good play inside. Tough shot for Al Wood.
There's Al Wood and the overlays. And the rebound by Whitehead. So Whitehead, greatly improved, 11 points. At the other end, McKenna, offensive foul. Boy, I have been impressed with Jerome Whitehead. There's Kevin McKenna. Whitehead averaging 13-7 a game and shooting 55% from the floor and almost 10 rebounds a game. He's had a very fine year. That's how hard work will help and pay off eventually. Al Wood, Tom Chambers, 6'11", good shooter. 93-74. San Diego has trimmed the 30-point lead, and it's down now to 19. McAdoo. Blocked from behind by Brogan. Chambers, and he won't give it up. And finally does, but it's too late. I should have had at least 2 and maybe 3 out of that. Chambers trying to pull up off the dribble and get rid of the ball. Found himself in the open floor. And that doesn't happen to the big guy very often.
Well, he's bouncing it all over. Knees, hands, elbows, anything to keep it alive. He finally finds Douglas underneath, and Norm Nixon trying to go Bill Russell. Trying to make the block, only got halfway up. Pat Riley a little bit concerned. He started to call a timeout. Sees there's only 32 seconds before he'll rally his troops. He'll sit down and talk about good, smart basketball the rest of the way. Douglas missing the front end.
Wow, free throw shooting. What have they been doing at the line tonight? San Diego, 18 for 27. LA, 19 for 28. It has not been a clinic at the line. 93-75. Look at Brogan. Nixon. Brogan staying on top. The crowd appreciates how hard he plays. Look for the give and go. Saved by Nixon, then throws it out of bounds. And Brogan drives Blaine Reichelt right off the edge of the floor. 93-75 by 18, the Lakers. Remember now that Cleveland led by 26 in the third quarter and lost it. And a three-pointer. And suddenly we are back, and Magic Johnson trying to bring the Lakers down the floor and get that big lead back. Over 30, now down to 15. Landsberger to Magic, overplayed by Douglas, and Douglas with a reach-over foul.
Well, I think it's discouraging for Pat Riley on one sense, and probably a little bit disheartening for the players that came off the bench. They had a huge lead, and they felt they could do almost anything they wanted and got a little bit complacent. Now he has to come back with the players that he wanted to give a little bit more rest tonight. Kareem, Jamal, Magic Johnson, Norm Nixon.
93-78. 11:41 to play in the game. Al Wood got the foul.
2 quick team fouls against the against the San Diego Clippers. Certainly with this group in, they're going to take advantage of that and try to keep the ball inside.
Big sky hook miss. Chambers with another rebound. What was that?
Traveling Chambers is up and down with the basketball.
Chambers has had a good night on the boards, and he's not a very happy young man right now. All right, we've got Wilkes and Magic and Kareem, Nixon and Landsberger. Landsberger with kind of a phantom screen. Now he gives him one as Nixon goes the other way, trying to get to Kareem. Magic at 6'9", running hook, and Brogan with a rebound. Jimmy Brogan, head up, dribbling down the floor. He brings Al Wood through. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the outlet, and stolen by John Douglas. Douglas. 93-80, 13 points. Trying to come back against LA that led by 30. Lakers so far 55% in the game. San Diego 41%. And amazingly, the Clippers have come back and tied the rebounding figure. Nixon. Jerome Whitehead. Douglas curls away from Nixon. Douglas pulls up. 11-point game. As they start the 93-82 by 11. Los Angeles Lakers in the fourth period. Magic, he drives the boulevard. Block shot by Al Wood. Chambers has got it, and it goes over to Jerome Whitehead. Trailed by 33 points at one time. Inside to Wood. And a forced shot by Whitehead. Or a forced pass that time, and Jamal Wilkes comes away with it. To Magic, to Kareem. And a foul. And a foul. Well, the big man finally gets the Lakers back into the scoring parade. 95-82.
Well, 6-0. John Douglas doing all the damage for the Clippers. They call a timeout. They finally get Kareem the ball deep inside. He gets a little bump from Tom Chambers. Chambers with his 4th personal, 3rd-team foul. Kareem with a 3-point play to give him a total of 15 in the ball game.
And that rubs out a 12 straight string by LA. They had run 12 straight points to cut the lead. And now trail it 96-82 by 14. Chambers to Al Wood. And good. And a possible three-point play. Boy, we've had a lot of those tonight. Oh, boy. Well, here's Al Wood. Jamal Wilkes got that foul. His second, the first on the Lakers. The Clippers, incidentally, with 3 team fouls here in the 4th period.
Well, Al Wood getting a little bit more extended playing time, but this is one of the things that excited so many teams as he misses another free throw, his ability to pop from the outside.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with a very emphatic rebound. Remember, these two teams, the way it looks right now, will flip a coin to see who gets the #1 pick. Why? I'll tell you in a moment. Chambers with a steal. Douglas in and out. Whitehead keeps it live. Nice save by Jerome Whitehead. Boy, these kids are hustling, aren't they? 96-84. The Lakers have Cleveland's draft pick. Clippers right now have the worst record in the West, and Al Wood gets 2. And it's a 96-86 game by 10. And the Clippers are doggedly hanging in there. 8:50 to play. Al Wood with a save to Brogan. Great hustle by Wood and Brogan. Chambers. A ball game. 96-88. From 33 points back to 8. And here's Nixon, and they'll run something set. Let's see how they execute here. This is where they get their most criticism from people who say that they don't execute all that well in a half-court offense. Wilkes pops out, got the down pick, and he bumps it in. Oh, that was nicely done. They ran Wilkes from the strong side around a down screen and up on top with a turnaround pop for first 20 seconds.
Well, certainly the crowd here has not had much cheer about, and they've started a comeback, but the Lakers are still in control of this basketball game. We'll see if they can continue the aggressiveness that we have seen here in the 4th period.
Whitehead. He traveled with the ball. Whitehead. He's had his share of injuries this year as well, but he's hung in there. Last time we televised here, he had the bad hip, remember? This time he caught it on the left buttocks.
A little bit out of control as he catches the ball here and trying to make a move and go up in the air all at once. That's where the travel occurred, and perhaps he strained something right there on the left side.
Well, we're going to have a 20-second time. The Lakers at one time led 74-41. It is now 98-88. How things can change and turn around in the NBA. Paul Silas talking to his kids while the trainer talks to Jerome Whitehead. Keep the pressure on, says Whitehead, or says Silas. Silas is a great example of patience. He had to be patient because when he started out in the league, he was out of it and over to the Eastern League for a while before he got a chance to make his mark. And he's one of those rare people that had enough diligence and persistence to come back and make a great name for himself. And he ended up having more rebounds than points scored. He was a great offensive rebounder, Paul Silas. And now he's trying to exercise the same patience with this young team. Crowd loves Brogan. Crowd loves Brogan.
Jimmy Brogan went up and shook hands with a couple of his friends as he tried to make that steal. But again, this is the type of intensity that Paul Silas was looking for earlier in the ball game when they got so far down. The Lakers now coming back with Jamal Wilkes heading the way.
Well, Wilkes rubbed off a pick. Brogan tried to come over and help, but he got caught halfway in between, and Wilkes with 24. Boy, he'll put the chill on you in a hurry, won't he? So the Lakers have scored 4 in a row, and it's up to 12. Douglas. Thing hung on the lip of the rim and then out of bounds to Los Angeles. The Lakers have done very well when they have had the lead going to the 4th period, but not always when they've trailed. And a foul call on Magic's penetration. Earvin Magic Johnson. What a great month of March he had, didn't he?
Well, Magic on the penetration. This is what he has been doing so much the entire ball game, and they're now trying to get that same momentum back. Johnson trying to push the ball. And I think what we saw in that big surge by the San Diego Clippers was the fact that the Lakers got away from what they do best, which is run the basketball, push it up the court. And perhaps when they made some substitutions, those players don't have the same type of abilities as Nixon and Johnson, Jamal Wilkes to run the floor as well.
Don't forget, they're without Michael Cooper, Mitch Kupchak, who they've been without for a long time, and Eddie Jordan, who is one of their bench role players. There's Brogan. The Clippers have also been decimated by injuries. Nader, Taylor, Chris Brogan. Missing. Al Wood. Loose ball foul, Kareem.
33 clearly over the back of Al Wood that time. Kareem trying to stretch the long arm over and tip it away. Outside jumper by Jimmy Brogan. Wood's got good inside position, and you'll see Kareem's arm. That's where the foul occurred.
101-88. Waiting for that #1 pick if they get it. If they win the coin flip, Clippers hoping that they can turn it around next year. Offensive foul called on John Douglas. I'll make that Al Wood, pardon me.
Al Wood got a head of steam up. He had determined before he even saw what the defense was going to do that he was going to drive, get in as close as he could. A little bit out of control.
Brogan looking for help. They clear out of side, let Magic work. Now Brogan sags back on Kareem. They're going to give Magic the outside shot, and he won't take it. Nixon on a screen by Wilkes. Little cat and mouse time. Now they go to Kareem. Brogan sneaks in, knocks the ball away. Brogan all over the floor. Good pass inside. And out of bounds. It'll come back into San Diego. Boy, that Brogan, he is a hustler.
He's doing a very good job. Scrappy play by him to knock the ball away, get it to Douglas in the middle, comes in, gets a little bit too far, and tries to find Al Wood on the little flip pass and can't do it.
Chambers on the miss, and then it's blocked off nicely by the Laker inner perimeter that time, and he cannot get the rebound. Nixon to Magic, to Rambis, rhythm bounce. He was nice and patient on that one, wasn't he? So the 8-point lead is now back up to 15. Seven in a row for LA. After the Clippers had at one point run 12 in a row. Chambers tries to get the offense, had the rebound. Nixon to Rambis. He ran, no call. Offensive foul called on Kurt Rambis. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at the other end talking to Jess Kersey about something. I don't know what that's all about.
Screw is up out of the middle of the floor right there. You know, we have portable floors, and one of the screws has come up. They just took it out.
They get out of there. Paul Silas. Man, that gentleman right there was a tremendous contributor as a player in the NBA. Second-year coach. Brogan. Concentration. Over the 6'9" jumping Magic Johnson. Nixon. Nice penetration. Rebound by Wilkes and a foul inside. 103-90. There's Jamal Wilkes.
Nixon with a tough left-hander. He couldn't get it to go off, but Jamal Wilkes is right there. You'll see the arm of Jerome Whitehead come in, slash him across the arm. That's 5 team fouls, 5 personals on Jerome Whitehead. Wilkes has a chance to build his total to 27 points if he can get both of these.
Jamal is a fellow that not only has made tremendous contributions offensively, but twice he's been an all-defensive selection. Last year averaged almost 23 points a game. Another one of the fine stable full of athletes that Jerry Buss has got under long-term commitments. 104-90 to score. San Diego trailing. Had it all turned around for a while, and the crowd was all pumped up and ready to go, and now a checking foul out in the open floor by Jamal Wilkes. So that'll put the Lakers at 3 team fouls, and Jamal also at 3 personal fouls. And Al Wood will inbound the ball. Al Wood, 6'6", 193-pound rookie from North Carolina. John Douglas, 6'3" guard. Chambers at 6'11" from Utah, and Whitehead 6'10" from Marquette. There's Brogan. And the follow by Whitehead. Still have time, 4:15 to play, 12-point LA lead. 104-92, the big man. Easy as he puts it up and in. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is in the top 10 in scoring, number 6. The top 10 in field goal percentages with 57%. He's number 4 in the league. And in the top 3 in block shots. Every year, he seems to be up there among the leaders in 2, 3, 4 categories. See something. Boy, bodies going askew in different directions. And some collision there between Douglas and Al Wood. USA on top of everything that's meaningful in sports. 106-92. Kareem Magic Johnson on the lob, the big man, played by Brooks, but Brooks, it's like a little kid trying to reach up and take a ball away from his dad. That man is awesome. Kareem, they say 7'2", maybe 7'3" or 4, and the ball goes down. Norm Nixon gets the 2. Norman Nixon now with 18 points.
Paul Wilkes.
55% for the Lakers, 43 for the Clippers in the game. Clippers have taken a rebounding lead, if you can believe that, after being manhandled in the first half. John Douglas steps inside, and a good move by Tom Chambers.
Well, they've improved their game by getting the ball down in deep, but I think the biggest improvement we've seen is just the fact that they've been a lot more aggressive. I think the Lakers are just playing the timeout right now.
Well, if they have to go to an offense or run a couple of plays, we've seen some that they've run very well tonight. That was their double screen, and that gives them a 110-94 lead with 2:35 to play in the game.
Well, Eddie, I don't think there's any question that this unit out on the floor is a good half-court basketball team. Yes, they have the preference for running, the Lakers, but they can go to half-court basketball if they have to, and certainly they always have the big fella inside that can bail them out.
Magic, drop lead feed Nixon. Wilkes, Magic will get a chance to score, and his foul coming in. Now, he was on the receiving end for a change. Usually he's the guy that's dishing it off. Kareem will go off, and Bob McAdoo will come on. There's Pat Riley.
See, Magic Johnson leaves that. Norm Nixon looking the other way, finds Johnson, tries to carry it in against Tom Chambers. And Chambers fouls out of the ball game.
Yep. Quite frankly, turnovers have not helped either team tonight. They never do. Jim Smith will come in for Tom Chambers. Chambers goes off, had 19 points and a whole lot of rebounds. This is Magic Johnson at the line. Look at Jamal Wilkes, who sits down for a moment. Third-year man, Michigan State. 22 years old. Boy, oh boy. Played in only 33 games last year, but he sure has done a big job this year, and that knee seems to have mended nicely. McGee will play on Douglas now at 6'4" on 6'3". Whitehead draws Bob McAdoo. Jimmy Brogan. Pancaker. Brogan has had a nice night from the floor as well. He's got 18 points. Give it over to McGee. There's your time. Magic Johnson. And again, he dishes off. Johnson makes so many things happen on the floor. Sometimes he'd probably be better served to go ahead and shoot it himself, but he's always trying to set people up.
Well, he knows that the defense has got to react, and he'll go as close as he possibly can, then look for the open man. And that's what happened the last time, but he perhaps was a little bit too close to Bob McAdoo trying to drop that pass inside.
Whitehead turns and faces McAdoo that time and then draws the foul out of Bob. You notice the way that Whitehead has changed his approach to the game, much more confident.
Well, I think that comes from the fact that he's found that he can be successful out there on the court, and with that you become confident, you also become aggressive. That was a cheap foul, however, that he got on Bob McAdoo. That was a nice little wheeling left-handed hook across the middle.
That's right, underscore left hand, because at one time he couldn't shoot that shot. 112-98. Don't forget about our coverage of the Aloha Classic from Hawaii. Look for your local listings as to when it will appear in your area. McAdoo and a foul call as he breaks loose through the middle of the lane and then is tied up. Jim Smith.
Well, if Jim Smith is in the ball game, he's going to be around the action, this time trying to come across to make the block. Good extension that time. Looked like he may have gotten a piece of that ball along with the hand of McAdoo, which is considered part of the ball, but Mac will go to the line.
All right, you've got Big Brew in there also now. Incidentally, Tom Chambers, in addition to 19 points, had 9 rebounds. Remember that at one time, San Diego trailed by 33 points and came back to cut it to within 8. 113-98. Brogan. Brooks, stolen by Kurt Rambis. And a foul call. A year ago, that would have been worth 2. This year, because it was a backcourt, the foul happened in the backcourt. Nothing happens till a penalty situation. And because the Clippers have now gone over the limit, they'll take Rambis and move him to the line. He'll shoot a 1+1, or 1 plus the penalty. Kurt Rambis, 6'8", 220, Santa Clara. Drafted originally in the 3rd round by the Knicks, was cut, went to Greece, came back over here and made this Laker team. He's been a surprise too, hasn't he, Steve?
He's had an excellent ball game, certainly, as I said before. When you're playing with the caliber of talent that he is and given the opportunity to do what he can do, which is to rebound the basketball, he's done an excellent job, and he's fit in well.
Jim Brewer, the man that just got the rebound, in one period of the year, he was called on to play for Kareem, who was out with injuries. He played 6 games, and the Lakers won all 6, and he did a nice job. He will not try and score a lot when he's in there. He just bangs the boards and sets picks. Here's McAdoo. Whitehead fights him for the ball. Brogan diving. He wants to come back here and play next year. With the kind of effort he's put in tonight, he's going to get a good look. Douglas up and down. Ball was partially blocked. That's why he got a chance to go back and get it again. 12 seconds. Brewer fouled by John Douglas. And Rambis. McKenna falls to the floor.
John Douglas can't believe the call. He just butchered Jim Brewer on the way in, is complaining. But I think 2 players have put in an outstanding effort, both in the backcourt for the San Diego Clippers, Jimmy Brogan and John Douglas, who just fouled out of this ball game. Douglas had 20 points on the evening, 10 in the second, 4 in the 3rd and 6th to start the period off, and he was part of that big role that at least made this game competitive for a little while as the Lakers starters went to the bench.
115-98 score. Jim Brewer, University of Minnesota, put in a lot of time with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Loves to play golf, play with the 72 Olympic team. And a very fine defensive player. Good offensive rebounder as well. 116-98. Got pretty interesting there for a while, and now L.A. assured of their 50th win of the year, the 3rd straight year in a row they've done that. First time in the history of their franchise. 117-98. 5 seconds left. Crowd starting to mill out of here. And Whitehead with a foul. So Whitehead with 17 points. And McAdoo gets the foul.
Well, we
said masked man.
Well, we've seen McAdoo come in a couple of times. This is a strong move by Jerome Whitehead. That foul McAdoo earned. The previous one he did not. Whitehead will go to the line with 3 seconds left in the ball game. The Lakers have a 17-point advantage. And this is in the books.
Yeah, I would have to say so. It's a man at time, right? 117-100. Whitehead misses it. And here it is. It's all over. So the San Diego Clippers have lost again. And now their record is 16-50. We have a post-game show, and we'll do it right after this.
Jamal Wilkes, certainly the Los Angeles Lakers had this game under control all the way, Jamal. A little bit of a scare there in the 3rd period, and they started to come back in it. What was the concern for Pat Riley at that particular point, that you lost the momentum and you couldn't get it back?
Yeah, he was concerned about that. We had the guys that started had been out quite a while, and I think he was concerned that if we waited too much longer, we would have been totally out of it mentally. But we have to give a lot of credit to the young San Diego Clippers. They've been struggling a lot. They've had a lot of problems, but you know, they could have easily folded. They showed a lot of heart, a lot of character, and really turned it into a basketball game.
Well, you know, we have a lot of looks at Jamal Wilkes, and we have you out on the break and a few other opportunities. Describe the play as you start to run.
Well, playing with Norm Nixon and Magic, my job is not to handle the ball, just to run and play without it and get open. And when I saw the opportunity, I just took off, and it was a great lead pass. Here, Kurt Rambis has it, hits Norm, and I'm filling the lanes. I know that I'll either get the shot or Norm or Kurt will get the shot. Throws it back to Magic. Great pass. And
that's a great shot, huh? Well, the one thing that you know about the break, as we take a final look at Jamal Wilkes, if you run on the break, you create not only an opportunity for yourself, but for your teammates.
That's exactly it, Steve. I run down, and we can't see the monitor, but that's so true. You know, if I run, I may not get it, but someone will get it.
All right, let's look ahead to the playoffs. You currently have a 3.5 game bulge over the Seattle Supersonics. Can you hold them off, and how will that first week off do for the Lakers in general?
Well, Steve, we can hold them off by winning. You know, it's been back and forth all year long, but right now, if we can win and build some momentum going into the playoffs, not only will it maintain our lead over them, but we'll be feeling good during the playoffs. I think that week off is really going to help us. You know, some of our guys have put in a lot of minutes, a little tired, and, you know, we've been there not too long ago. Last year, we got eliminated early, but the year before that, we won the championship, and I think this group is much hungrier than we were last year, so we're looking forward to the rest off and really trying to take it to the max.
All right, now, one final thought, and very quickly, will you begin to get more rest in the final 9 ball games of the regular season?
Well, I don't think so, Steve. You know, we lost Ed Jordan for the rest of the year, and Cooper is very doubtful for the next 2 games, so it looks like at least for the next 2 or 3, 4 games, there won't be much rest. You know, we didn't want to play our main people that much tonight, but we had to. So, but that's okay as long as we keep winning and we get that bye.
All right. Well, Jamal, get a rest right now. It's always a pleasure to visit with you. Eddie Doucette, you've got it back. Jamal Wilkes, another excellent job for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you, Jamal Wilkes.